So good morning, everyone. Welcome to this class. My name is Nevin. Some of you may be new, so just in case to repeat about a few words about myself. I'm a Qigong and yoga instructor, mindfulness as well. And on top, I'm a student currently these days at the Ujjayi University of Integrative Medicine, where I'm studying Oriental medicine, acupuncture, and kind of different options on Oriental medicine. So I will be probably having some references to some acupuncture points. There will be some massage. And in this session, we are doing a combination of Qigong and yoga. So it may be, for those of you who are practicing only one of them, there might be some new things that you may have not done before, but they are all going to be doable by everybody. So it's all accessible format. And feel free to, especially at the beginning, start seated on a chair. And in terms of just like general precautions, please listen to your own body. Anything that doesn't feel right to you, just stay connected with your own body and choose not to do some of the things that I may be offering in that moment. So for today, since this is the last session by me of this series we've been doing for a couple of months, I thought about doing it as almost like a tune-up for the spine, maintenance and maybe tune-up for the spine, because this is, as you all know, these things, I trust, spine is the lifeline, really. There are so many things that are being done by the spine. And many times we don't take good care of our spine because we are slouched like that. We have no idea about our posture. We are either on our phone or devices or whatever, or maybe sitting on a couch, but just like slouched. Who cares? And the spine in its God knows what kind of a shape. And then we find out all these different types of problems related to spine and vertebra. So because of that, I would invite you to be aware of your spine in this class. Right now, for example, check out your posture. How does your posture feel right now? I'm just gonna check something here on my computer. And as you sit on something, I'm sitting kneeling down, it just feels comfortable, but feel free to maybe sit cross-legged. Really, you choose your own version to find this upright spine. And the key thing here for the spine to be upright is the position of the pelvis, actually, because spine is just like a kind of a number of vertebrae, just bones on themselves. And they need this position of the pelvis in a neutral way so that it can be kind of lifted upwards. And of course, there are a couple of other things. Maybe the muscles at the front of the body, maybe at the back, also this multifidi, and maybe this area is also, if they're in okay shape, the spine will be at ease. Otherwise, if you are not used to sitting like that, it may feel, oh my God, my back hurts. It's just because you're not used to it. Otherwise, finding this uprightness in your spine in its neutral curves. As we begin, we're going to start quickly with some Qigong and acupuncture points, tapping. So bring your hands to the sides of your like nipple line, but sides on the on your kind of side body here. Just tapping with your fingertips. This is a point which affects overall one of those, they call this like great low points, great connecting points. It can affect, you can think of it like the energy is spreading from the side all through the body. And then same thing from here, down and up. Just do that a few more times. And then bring the hands downwards now to this area. I'm just sitting like that. See, there is this other bone group here, hip bones, and then the ribs. And become aware of the space between the ribs and then this hip bone. Just tapping, tapping, tapping to the sides. Up and down, move like that a little bit. And now just release, but bring your shoulders close to the ears. Do that a few more times. We're starting with this just like basic first moment relaxation, just in case if you have some tension here and there. Next time when you bring the shoulders to the ears, hold it here and turn your head side to side. Tiny, teeny movement, but just like notice what's happening between, or how does your cervical vertebra feel? And then slowly release. Just take a moment now, close your eyes if it feels comfortable, to connect with your breath. And notice the sensations inside of the body. Notice how the trunk feels. Notice how this whole kind of cylinder shape the body. And invite the breath almost like 360, expanding the cylinder. It's going downwards, outwards, front and back. Feel at the same time, top of the head is almost like there's a thread from the sky, almost like suspended. Chin is slightly tilted. You are breathing. Make the breath almost, you can add from yoga this time, this Ujjayi, ocean sounding breath, by constricting the back of your throat a little bit. If you're not familiar with this, don't worry about it, but just like have the breath going big and slow. You can bring one hand onto your belly if you would like to start feeling the belly expanding. Releasing. As much as possible, feeling the breath going downwards. Another thing, in addition to kind of ignoring what's happening with our spine, for our breath, it's mostly in the upper chest area. We don't take time to feel the breath at the lower part of the lungs. So taking a moment to almost undo some of our ignorances, let's say. And as you are taking a few more moments like that, we're starting slow, just connecting with the breath. Maybe just add a little bit, almost like as a flavor, even this sense of real greeting yourself. This sense of, oh yeah, hello, my dear, or like however you would like to connect. Feel or imagine you are really touching base, maybe to something really deep inside. Because this time that you are dedicating for your practice is really important. It really includes, it could be just a seed, but it includes a deep sense of self-care. You want to be well, you know, you want to be healthy, you want to kind of take good care of yourself. Feel that's very deep, but for me, it's very real. I'm trusting it's kind of similar for you too. Oh, I want to be well. You can also turn this maybe a little bit like, oh, may I be well. By well, I include maybe the health in the body, health in the mind, maybe a little bit of a sense of happiness, or maybe just contentment, however you like it. More like broader, it's not just like temporary, but a sense of, yeah, I want my life to kind of go well with ease. It's not like big cars, big houses, but just like a sense of deep, nice, like, yeah, I want to be well. Connecting with that as you're breathing. And gradually opening your eyes if they were closed. And as we start to move now, just move side to side. If you are maybe like this, it's all good. Just like maybe moving a little bit. We're now activating almost like this pelvic area to maybe slowly, we're going to combine upper body and lower body together. And now take the arms up towards the sky. Start to just circle the wrists. And now just reach up as much as possible. They can be in a big V, it's all okay. But just reaching high, feel the side body lengthening, both sides. And as you exhale, bring the arms into cactus. Feel shoulder blades at the back coming close to each other. Inhaling. Exhaling. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach up big. Exhale. One last time like that. Inhale. Exhale, and slowly bring your hands, or elbows rather, maybe together. Just feel them close and draw them close. It's almost like a pulsing thing. You'll start to feel a little bit of the chest area. We did something for the back body, and now for the front. We're drawing them close, and elbows are parallel around the chest level. And slowly from here, start to move your arms in such a way that one is going to the front, the other one is going back and circling. Then bring that hand back, and this hand moves to the front, and then this other hand goes backwards. I'm just going to turn sideways. What we are doing, we used to do this, maybe those of you who were coming on to the Monday classes, this is one of the shibashi moves. So you are moving. So notice we are working with the upper body in a twisting manner. Hands move, big circle at the back, and do your best. If this doesn't feel right for any reason, maybe your hand is just going this way and then coming back. If you have any maybe conditions with the shoulders, sometimes this may not be very comfortable, but just also as we are moving, notice how your spine is feeling. See, we are turning from one side to the other. And then slowly, next time when you bring the hands here, bring your hands or one hand on the opposite side. So this becomes like a whole spiral for the spine. So bring one hand on your opposite knee, and then the other hand goes on your back, somewhere close to the base of the spine. But feel this rotation now happening. And as this rotation is happening, mostly from your belly, your top of the let's say upper part of the body doesn't need to turn that much, but feel this squeezing, this ringing happening around the belly. With your head also, maybe turn to look backwards, and with your eyes even, try to gaze to the farthest point ahead. So you'll feel a bit of a stretch in your eyes, working with the eyes, obliques. And inhaling, taking the arms just for a moment upward, feel the spine, maybe some sensations, and then turn to the other side. As you again find the position, squeezing the belly, and then spine is lifted up, turning backwards. Gaze is just like farthest point possible. Slowly, with your gaze, just turn again to the center and just take a moment to feel. Keep checking what's happening in your spine, how things are feeling. Anytime you don't feel that, oh, this is not right for me, don't do that, please. As we now move on a little bit more actively with the idea of something to do with the spine mostly. So just bring, if you were using something like that, just maybe clear your mat a little bit. As you come on to this tabletop, hands and knees, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. But we're just going to do this slightly different. So bring your hands a little bit to the front. So they're not exactly in the usual version, they will be right under, but bring them a little bit towards the front. And when you are ready, we're going to now angulate the spine a little bit to warm it up. When you are ready, inhale here. And when you exhale, bring your hips to the heels, coming into child pose. And when you come to the child pose, bring your lower arms onto the ground and slide yourself. We're going to move like that as if it's a cat call, but it's a little bit more, maybe slightly different version. Inhaling, reaching forward, your forearms are still on the ground, and then lifting them, gazing up. Exhaling, rounding the spine, coming all the way down to the child pose. Forearms are completely on the ground. Moving forward like that, inhaling. Exhaling, rounding. Feel right now we are moving the spine, mostly the sense of like angulation. And also become aware when we move like that, when we extend front with the inhalation. So front part of the spine is opening. And when we exhale, we round the back part of the spine opening. We did work with some twists on the sides as well. So inhaling, exhaling. Let's do that one last time. Inhaling and exhaling.
And this time, as you come onto this child pose, tuck the toes under, please. So your hips are going to be slightly lifted. Just stay here for a moment. Toes are tucked under so that you will start to feel your really bottoms of your feet and curl even your small toe. So they're starting to stretch a little bit. Feel, maybe bring the hands also onto the fingertips in tent position, as they say. Feel big, nice side body stretch happening here, and then slowly walk your hands back. And then notice the feelings. How does your the bottoms of your feet react to this? They may be like, oh my God, if this is too much, you can just release them or do something like that. But otherwise, just stay with me just a little bit more, because this is really great as we are working now with the fascia, the connective tissue, which starts from the around the balls of the toes, bottom, goes all the way up to here. So you're basically stretching entire back body. And this is a good one to do because as we normally don't do this, but it's really helpful to open the back line of the body, including even the hamstrings. A lot of times it's really tight in many of us. We're not going to do that many hamstring stretches today, but just become aware. This is really helpful for all of those. And very slowly now slide again back, coming into this time normal or regular, let's say tabletop, so hands are right under the shoulders. We're going to do one more thing to incorporate lower body and then upper body together by making just like a simple circle as you're rotating the hips. This can start slow as you start to feel how things are feeling around the hips, even maybe like shoulders and wrists. Make it now almost like an organic move. Widen the circle and feel like everything, this whole connection from your knees, hips, spine, shoulders, elbows, and wrists are kind of doing something in your own way. It doesn't have to be any specific way. This circle is just like a guidance, and you can interpret it on your own way with all freedom. You may even like come all the way down, for example, to the front and do something like that, almost like an up dog, or go back into the child pose and stay there, maybe do things there, or maybe bring the hips all the way to the side and feel maybe some interesting sensations there. So you do your own. A lot of times there is, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, there is a lot of guidance in yoga. So the students are used to waiting things to come from the teacher, but feel free to do your own stuff because it's your body. That's what matters. That's the challenge with group classes. The teacher guides something and the students are advised to do their own too. So just be free to do that. And very slowly now coming in the middle, back again, finding ourselves in the tabletop position. If you want to take a break and do something with your hands, maybe you can do that. Let's do that, maybe all of us. Just shake a little bit the wrists. And now make the hands in a fist form as a change. And if you guys have maybe yoga block or something, you can also use this as like your lower arm on yoga block, but I guess many people don't have it, so I'm not using in this round. But while the hands are, one of them is in a fist form, the other one, see this hitchhiking, I guess, position. Reach like that to the front, lifting it up, release. And then same thing a few times, just the front hand is lifting. Notice and this is intention. It's not just like random lifting and dropping. Please have a sense of like reaching forward, stretching a little bit, and then feel all the way the line almost like towards the groins that's extending. So it's deep core work. Transverse abdominis almost is being affected here. And we're gonna flavor this up a little bit more. So next time when you are ready, reaching forward with the hand, if it's accessible, of course, just check with your body. Add the opposite leg as well. And take a moment to circle the hand and then the foot there for a few moments, and then hold it in still. Make it very active. Heel is pushing very actively, toes flexed, reaching forward and back at the same time. Feel yourself almost like outstretched through the space, parallel to the ground. And take a moment to release. Now just go into child pose for a moment. Bring the elbows down, lift the hands. In any case, just shake or circle. You can also maybe do like figure eights as you have your hands interlaced as well. Taking a break almost before we do the other side. Finding again your position. And now the opposite side. So reaching forward with the hand as the hand is actively almost like pulled away from the shoulder area. Then add the other leg and maybe do a little bit of circling again if you like here. And then as you extend actively, as much as possible, try to maintain the low back level to the ground. It's natural. Part of it would like to maybe tilt upward a little bit, but be aware of that. Engage your belly as you are holding yourself actively, lengthening, lengthening, lengthening. And as you exhale, slowly release the hand, release the knee. And from here, we will slowly come up. Again, any wrist sensitivities, be careful. But otherwise, if things are feeling okay, you can also make a fist as well. Tuck the toes under. Lift the knees just 1 inch off the floor. Stay here. Feel your strong core as you're pushing the ground away. And release the knees down. Those of you, now we're going to come up. If you are practicing downward facing dog, you can go slowly to downward facing dog by tucking the toes under and then lifting the knees. Those of you who are not practicing downward facing dog, from the tabletop position, step forward with one foot and then add the other one. And those of you who are on downward facing dog now, gaze forward and start to walk towards the front edge of your mat. And we all meet here. As you come here, again, those of you who may have a yoga block, I will have them here, but if you don't have a yoga block, it's all good. Have your hands on the ground, knees are bent, and we're gonna be intentionally now bending and straightening the legs. So lift one heel and then the other one. I will use my yoga block. One of them will be in the middle. And do this a few more times, and then slowly we will turn this into a twist. So when you have your next time your right heel lifted, right hand is going to be in the middle, left leg is as straight as possible, and finding here slowly a way to bring yourself into a twist, opening the hand out to the side and then all the way up. Again, if you have any maybe like spinal conditions that you may need to be careful, maybe your twist is going to be just on this hand on the side. Otherwise, opening maybe towards the sky, maybe doing something with your hand if you would like to. And as you exhale, release. Now both heels for a moment are on the ground, and lift the left heel up. So my heel is lifted. Hand is in the middle, and then turn to the other side. Again, depending on your conditions, please staying very connected with your own body, checking, making sure that things are feeling okay. And very slowly from here, release your hand down and take a moment to come into a deep knee bent position. Your hands are on your thighs now. And as you're staying here, just notice this and slowly bend and straighten both knees this time. Your heels are completely on the ground. We are working really, working up, let's say, with the back muscles of the legs. A few rounds here. And slowly bring the hands to the front. reach to the front, stay here. If the hands are getting kind of too tired, bring maybe the grabbing opposite elbow with opposite hand. And if you want to add one more layer to this, you can lift the heels, hands either reaching to the front. You can even like bring them alongside the ears as well. Utkatasana, this chair pose. They're sitting in this imaginary chair. And very slowly release the heels, open the arms if they were in front, and then coming into a big reach with the arms. I'm just turning this way. And as you exhale, release. Have your space about hip width apart or maybe shoulder width apart. And circle the arms. One last time, we're going to do the same thing. Knees gently bend as you bring the hands at the front. Inhale, reach, and this time stay like that. Your arms are in a maybe parallel to each other or in a big V, doesn't matter. But drop the shoulders down. Feel this sense of like, okay, how long are we gonna hold this here? It doesn't feel comfortable exactly, right? I know. But then just keep them high. Add to this a lift, heel lift. And notice, oh my God, this sense of balance, survival instinct almost like kicking in. My floor is carpet, so it's very tricky for me. It's becoming like extra effort. So just holding here for one more breath and witness, observe any inner sense, oh my God, kicking in, like this, maybe. And then slowly start to release the heels. Feel the ease, like, oh my God, so glad to have both of my feet on the ground. No? Then turn your palms out. Maybe your arms are feeling really tired by now. Who knows? Mine are feeling. I am kind of suspecting yours may also be something similar. Keep very actively now. Reach high one last time, and then very slowly, I said, start to make a circle with the hands. You can close your eyes, bring the attention just to your fingertips. Slowly, bring the hands, complete the circle in front of the heart, as the in front of the chest, as the palms touch each other. Breathe in, breathe out. And take a moment to connect now with this inner seed or inner place that we had greeted, let's say, at the beginning of the class. Again, say something as you wish. Maybe like, oh, nice to connect with you again. Or maybe like, see what I've done for you, or like whatever, however it feels right for you. Maybe just say, oh, my dear, that's enough. Feel your feet touching the ground. Feel your hands touching each other, just the sensations. There's a lot of heat in my hands right now. And feel the spine kind of holding you in this upright position. And now we'll do a few nice and easy, let's say, poses or movements from Qigong first. And then we'll go a little bit more hardcore with a few yoga. So as you bring your feet, just adjust the position maybe one more time. And they can be parallel to each, they're going to be parallel to each other in any case, but you can have them maybe slightly wider. Just check with yourself. For some people, shoulder width apart works better. For some people, hip width apart, which is going to be those hip bones. So I'm kind of in between, but check it with yourself, whichever feels right for you. And bend the knees a little bit. That's the foundational posture for the Qigong. Wuji, sometimes this is called like emptiness. Sometimes it is called like ready. But there is a sense of like awareness of that present moment with this body in this posture. That's why when the knees are, sometimes when they are straight, we don't pay attention, but when the knees are slightly bent, it brings a sense of awareness, no? And then this, the pelvic, let me turn this way. So pelvis bone is going to be a little bit lifted. So as much as possible, having the whole pelvis girdle in a way, or the pot as a like neutral position.
that is going to slightly maybe lift up the chest. You're not reaching forward, but it's almost like opening. So find a sense of openness in your groins and openness in the shoulders. Again, we're not reaching forward, but it comes almost like naturally when you have the knees bent and tailbone tucked under, or pubic bone is lifted just a little bit, tiny, teeny, less than an inch definitely. Bring the hands maybe in front of the belly just for a few moments to feel. And as we start with this very simple and nice, maybe awareness of the energy as we would like to think of in Qigong, start to open your hands, inhaling and exhaling, opening and bringing them close. Just do that a few more rounds, inhaling, exhaling. And slowly widen your stance a little bit. And this is one of the classical moves in many Qigong, let's say, sets. This is called gather. So when you are gathering from the earth and then the sky, we're going to do both of them. When you are ready, your stance is a little bit wider, reaching downwards. Imagine you are connecting with the earth energy and gathering from the earth, and then hands cross in the middle, and then open out here as you exhale. Arms reach up towards the sky, and now you're gathering from the sky. And then hands go down, exhale, and hands open a little bit, and then inhaling. Imagine you're connecting with the earth energy. This stance of ready, or the Ujjayi, or emptiness, or potentiality, sometimes it's also called. It is happening between the earth and the sky, as you guys kind of know this, but we don't really think about it. But that's what it is. We are almost like a manifestation of this yang and yin energies. Some of you may be familiar with those things. It's sometimes called like feminine and masculine, or negativity and positivity, good and bad. It's all these opposites in our lives. And almost like most of our life is just like I don't know, sometimes a dynamic, let's say, polarization between them. We keep flowing from one side to another. By this move, we are almost trying to create an harmony. At the same time, the sense of connection. Imagine you're really touching. You can go all the way down if you want to. You don't have to. Touching to the earth and gathering earth's yin energy. Grounding, really giving this sense of, yes, I am. And then this is the earth energy. This is more like the sky. And this can go anywhere and everywhere. So you know, that's kind of the drill that we go through on a daily basis. Let's do 3 more. Big, nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, and as much as possible, imagining or feeling you are connecting with the earth. Exhaling now with the sky. And slowly coming to an end, just staying here for a moment. And now releasing, bringing your feet slightly closer maybe to each other. And then one thing, let's do this one first. Bringing the hands on at the back of the head now, and interlace the hands. So here, open, we're going to play with the elbows a little bit. Bring them close to each other, and then open. Do that one more time. You can do this even this Qigong stance, and maybe bend a little bit with the knees, and then lift. You can even lift the heels if you want to add on. Let's do this one last time here. And just stay here now. We're going to be staying here for a few moments. And I would invite you to, just as a challenge, to walk at the edge, long edge of your mat. By the way, for the hands, as they are held here, you're pressing your hands to your head while the head is pressed backwards. So there's a lot happening
all this isometric action for your upper back, just to help or undo maybe some of the slouching that you were doing earlier, or will do probably later, and start to walk. This is also a balance challenge. Like your feet are just following one to the other as you're gazing maybe downwards a little bit, it's okay. You can do this faster as well. It's not going to be that precise in terms of following the line, but it's okay. But then walk backwards. For this one, you will need to kind of, again, you don't need to really look down, but just do your best. And one more time, walk backwards, sorry, front, and then backwards. There's a lot of backward walking in Qigong, for those of you who may be familiar with it. And back, back, back. Notice the sensations right between your shoulder blades at the same time. And stay here just for a moment. Feel again all the sensations on the low back, and then slowly start to lift your arms up towards the sky. And as you exhale, release them down. Just notice how the upper body feels. There could be some sensations. There could be, if this is something you're not used to, or if you are someone who tends to slouch a lot, this may not feel very comfortable. It shouldn't hurt though, but just it may not be very comfortable because you're not used to it. But it's a great thing to do. Like anytime you remember when you're sitting in front of your computer, especially those of you who work from home or something, just do that and use this kind of pressure, one front, one back, to wake up, in a way, these muscles at the back. And slowly, let's do now one thing from yoga. We have very similar things in Qigong too. That's why I wanted to do that one. Now, very wide stance, horse stance or goddess pose. Horse stance, we call it in Qigong. And in yoga, we call it goddess. So turn your feet about 45-degree angle. And for this one, please make sure when we bend the knees, they tend to kind of stay in or kind of almost collapse in. Don't allow that. So press them out as much as possible. Become aware of really like the outer edge of your feet and the heels, a sense of like opening the knees outwards. And even the outer glutes, everything is going to be activated. Spine as much as possible, lifted upright on this one too. But this is really a great leg strengthener, and then the arms and everything. So we're going to play, and we're going to add something from yoga. This is one of the really fun breathing techniques. It's called lion's breath. And when you do that breathing, inhale, and then when you exhale, you stick the tongue out and gaze up towards your eyebrows. So you look funny, or we will all look funny. So we're all in this together. So it's going to be inhaling and then exhaling. So you make this sound too. Let's give it a try. And if there are people around you, maybe you're going to skip the lion's breath, but it's up to you. But it's a great thing to do. It's like one of the oldest yoga techniques, I would say, for facial rejuvenation, as they say. Inhaling, arms lift up. As you exhale, bring the hands into cactus and then do the lion's breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. Last time. Exhale. And now stay here. You can have your arms, just check to make sure that they are almost like about shoulder height. Shoulder blades at the back coming close towards each other. Very active for upper back. Very active for your legs. And the spine in between is upright as much as possible. If this sinking low doesn't feel right, maybe you're staying higher. It's all okay. And just to have a little bit more kind of core activation, core and maybe arms, open your arms out to the sides and then start to make circles. You can make a fist with your hands as well. Start to make circles. Maybe sink low. This is going to be the kind of last effortful one. So just stay with me as much as you can. Anytime this feels too much,
Just take a break and then come back again. We're going to be staying here for a few breaths, if you don't mind. Just keep very actively reaching with the arms, but they're not overextended. Just feel your hands are maybe moving like that, and then reverse the circle. Maybe a tiny bit of pulsing can be added, otherwise you're just staying still here. And now turn your hands to face upwards and push, 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 and then the same thing, sorry. Just a few rounds of circles, and then reverse. And then very slowly, we will soon, release this. Start to circle, this time just the hands. This will already kind of help you to release a little bit of this fatigue in the arms. Reverse the circle. And slowly from here, as we release, sink low, hold everything almost like still. And with your next in-breath, slowly lift up, rise up, reach up. And interlace the hands. Turn your feet parallel to each other. Lift up with the inhale. And then come into a side bend, release. Feel whole side body lengthening. And then the other side. Side body and sides of the spine, as you can imagine. Same thing one more time. Just extending the sides. Back to the other side. And now slowly, just unlace the hands, reach up high. And then as you exhale, turn the hands, this time big wide openness like that. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, turning the other side. One last time like that. Same movement, spinal twist. Lift up. And then down or open to the opposite side. And this time we will slowly start to move, and we'll turn this into something like a shake and twist kind of a thing. Just reaching up with the hands, lifting the heels. And we will slowly take the hands from top around the chest and then around the belly. Turning side to side for a few rounds like that. Feel free to lift the heels when you kind of move in the opposite direction. Your gaze is also following. Maybe you are gazing downwards to the opposite side, or on your back rather. And you can also do this without moving your feet as well. So it becomes just like upper body movement. And slowing it down and changing this into a tapping move. So this time intentionally with your fist hands, tapping onto these points, like under the shoulder bones, let's say, for the lung points, to help the body, or the lungs especially, to take more oxygen and kind of better respiration. And at the back, we are tapping into this area, which is called like Ming Men. And this is the door of life, gate of life, which really brings energy, vitality, good health. So just waking up those points a little bit. And now we will change, make it just like slapping with your hands. This is more like liver and spleen and digestive organs. Back is the same point, but we're not, instead of knocking, it's more just like slapping the sides. And now moving to the groins. Again, you can make a fist. More for lymphatic nodes in this area. Also for intestines, definitely, for them to kind of work better, to help with metabolism. This is really a great thing, actually, for overall kind of constipation or any intestine-related issues. And we will now do something to kind of include the lower body as well.
slowly from here, start to tap with your hands from the back of your legs, just the back part of the legs. Feel free to bend your knees deeply or as much as you need to, but tapping with your fist hands backwards and then sides of your feet and the toes. Take some time with them. Similar to the fingertips, toes are also good points to open, activate energy. Now moving into the inner part of the feet. And again, slapping or fist hand tapping is all good. And then one more time. This time, go through the sides of your legs. There are some acupuncture meridians. These lines are flowing from the back of the legs or from the sides. And down, down, down. Again, through the inner legs. And then as you come here now, just to almost like finish the energizing movement part for lymphatic system activation, this whole area, there are lymphatic nodes. You can do this both fist hand tapping or maybe slap and tap. Play with it, just activate this energy. We're increasing circulation for the blood and for the lymph. Basically oxygenize and let things kind of flow here. Nutrients as well as waste maybe that may be accumulating in this part of the body. And we will do one last thing for, again, the lymphatic system massage, the armpits. And I'm doing this with the side of my hand. You can make a fist as well. Armpit area, again, a point for the lymphatic node area. Basically, it's a whole area that helps to move the lymph, which is good for our immunity, as you may know. And then we will slowly release this by just shaking, 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 shaking the hands. You can also do something like that as well. In a way, if there was any stagnated energy kind of collected in your hands after all these moves, any stagnation, just let them go and slow it down and come into a stillness here. Close your eyes and feel. Just breathe. Feel this inner space almost. And take a moment to connect with that inner place or the seed that you had maybe planted earlier. In your own way. But for me, it feels like, oh, see what happened? Kind of a sensation I have. Really feeling your energy, all this physical body, mental, emotional body, maybe some clarity, maybe some lightness, whatever is there. It doesn't have to be like the perfect bliss state or so, but maybe just a sense of lightness, like kind of working and feeling with your own movements and attention and intention, how you have almost like shifted things inside. And when you're ready, opening the eyes as we prepare to go down again. Before we do a Shavasana for yoga, let's just do, maybe let's do that also on the ground. I was gonna suggest something else, but just go on your backs, please. Lying on your back, and you can slowly bring your knees towards your chest. Just draw the knees towards your chest and rock side to side. Then turn this rocking into a circle. Your hands are on the kneecaps. If the kneecaps are not accessible, maybe your hands are on your back. And you don't have to even have your hands there. You can have them in like a big T as well. But otherwise, just feel for a few moments, how does the low back feels when you move like that. Become aware of all these points, the sensations. And hopefully it's a good kind of sensation of like, oh, what a nice kind of massage, like almost maybe. And now slowly drop your feet down. So knees are bent, but open, keep them relatively open, wide, almost like bat width apart. And with the hands, take them on like overhead somewhere. Your hands can continue to stay like that. And you're going to be dropping your knees to one side and then to the other side, this windshield wiper movement. You can continue a few more like that, side to side, or if it feels good, just to kind of drop the knees to side and then stay there, it's all good. For the arms, if you want, you can move them in opposite side, almost like increasing this diagonal stretch as you move the hands in opposite direction. It's up to you. Sometimes it really feels good. It almost like extends this stretch also. It's very gentle for the spine, tiny, teeny, almost like turning. And then if you were doing the moving version for the legs, just choose to stay, or I would recommend you to stay maybe for a few breaths. And feel this whole now, this diagonal stretch happening from one side to the other side, and as well as feel this openness for the lower part of the lungs in this position. And intentionally take the air, take the oxygen, the breath down to the almost like the lowest parts of the lungs. Feel the lower lobe becoming active. A lot of times we don't take any air to this part of the body or the lungs, but then we lose the capacity. And then turn to the other side. And then drop the knees and stay here for a few breaths before we go to Shavasana. Final relaxation pose from yoga. You're staying down. I'm just up to guide for Shavasana. So after you complete this, just maybe take a moment again to check with the body if there is any part of the body that wants to do something else, maybe some rocking, maybe another twist, maybe bridge pose or happy baby where you take the feet up towards the sky. Or if you are ready, just go for it. As we bring the body slowly, after you do whatever feels right for you to do, we will bring the body slowly to lying down on the ground. I don't do any immersions in these classes because it's early in the morning. It's more like evening classes. So when you feel ready, you can slowly bring yourself into Shavasana. And as you come into the Shavasana, relaxation pose, or corpse pose actually for that matter, have your spine on the ground, of course, but feel spine right in the middle. So your hands and your feet are opening out to the sides, equidistant. Fine, almost like check. And make sure that right foot, left foot, right hand, left hand, they're feeling equidistant. And doing ideally the same thing, either up or down, doesn't matter. But if the turning the hands up doesn't feel doesn't come that easily, draw the shoulder blades a little bit close towards each other. That may help to turn the palms up. And also for your neck, just take a moment to turn it side to side. Do it very gently, please. And then as you bring it in the middle, lengthen the back, neck, and have your chin slightly tilted towards the chest. Don't gaze up towards the sky, but more like towards your toes in a way. This kind of a stretch is good for vagus nerve stretching, extending. So it helps to induce more a sense of calm and relaxation. Relax your belly. Relax your chest and heart area. Feel your heart supported almost like from your shoulders, from the ground. Notice your hands. If there is any sense of holding, any sense of grasping anything, let that go. Feeling yourself in your body, in your home base, but with a soft, really a sense of like letting go, a sense of surrendering maybe. And as you do that, feel the support of the earth underneath. And relax even more. Yes, there is support underneath.
coming from the earth, which is nourishing, which is giving us a lot. I'm feeling now the front of the body, relaxing your shoulders, and as well as like your facial muscles, allowing almost like no expression or expressionless face is okay. Muscles around the eyes relaxed. Your tongue is soft on like at the base, at its roots. Feeling the sky above. So us in between. And this dynamic flow or dance of yin and yang, and trying to harmonize, trying to live a balanced, healthy life. Connecting with that again. I'm feeling it really like your real, genuine sense of wishing yourself wellness. And taking a few moments again, maybe if you like, just repeating on your own words, or maybe just like, may I be well. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. And allowing yourself to stay with these well wishes for your own being. And recognizing that this practice was a real manifestation of these good well wishes. As we stay here just for a moment in silence, allow yourself to really bathe in a way in this feeling of wishing well to your being. No judging of nothing, accepting, embracing yourself with all the parts and everything. And very slowly, as we come into the end, deepening your breath again. And as the breath gets deeper, starting to move your hands, maybe fingers, maybe toes. So everything is moving slowly. Maybe somebody kind of wants to move in a certain way. It's all good. And maybe coming into a full body stretch, feeling, taking the arms up overhead, feeling your long spine, feeling yourself almost like 1 inch longer. As you stay in this really extended position, feel this length again, and then make a circle with the arms, and then roll the knees towards your chest. Take a few moments to rock side to side. Feel the transition. And turn towards your left side as you press your hands to come up into a seated position. Taking a moment again, really honor your practice and almost like to create a reference point or take an imprint of this practice. Bringing yourself into a seated upright position, finding this upright spine again. And as we come to the end of the class, when you bring the hands to the chest, feeling the palms, maybe the sensations, and taking a moment to almost like dedicate your practice to someone that you care for, someone that is dear to you, who may benefit from similar well wishes. So taking a moment to send, I have a few people in my mind, for example, that I can wish well for them. Almost like sending, sharing the gifts of my practice by sending them. Just maybe, may you be well. I hope you get better, or I hope you feel better. I hope you feel more ease. And you can also do the same thing. I don't know how many people are here, but just like sending the same well wishes to everybody in this class. Namaste, everyone.